Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emim Smart, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made this simple crop top. So if that is what you're interested in, let's dive right into it. So I'm going to start by folding my fabric into two, you know, just arrange it and making sure that I have the perfect sides that I want to work with. And then I'm going to go ahead to determine the length of the top that I'm going to sew. So for this top I'm going to use 16 inches, but I'm marking 18 inches because the other 2 inches is for sewing allowance. I'm going to use half inch up and then 1.5 inch to bend the clothes downwards. So after marking the points, I'll just use my ruler to join the points together. So I'm going to go ahead to measure my shoulder to shoulder measurement, and then I'm also measuring my armhole slope. So I'm using half inch for my armhole slope because I'm working directly on the fabric. If I were to use a pattern paper, I would have used 1 inch and then add a sewing allowance later. So I also went ahead to determine my armhole depth and then also the length of the measurements. So I'll know the actual length of the dress and then the ones I'm using for sewing allowance. So that's what I'm marking here. After that, I went ahead to measure my bust measurement, which is 32 divided by 4, and then I added 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. The 1 inch for ease is because the cloth is not going to be tight and we need it to be free around the body. So for the waist measurements, I measured what I had on the bust and replaced it on my waist. This is also because it's not going to be tight on the waist, so you don't have to use your actual waist measurement. You repeat the same measurement you had on the bust on the waist, so that once we are done, it's going to give us the box shape that we really need, and it will come out nicely. So next I'm going to draw my armhole curve, and before that I'm determining half, from my shoulder slope to my armhole depth, and determining the middle points where I'm going to go in by half inch and then draw my armhole curve. After that, I went ahead to mark my neck measurement. So for the neck depth and the neck width, I'm using the standard 3 by 3 inches because I don't want it to be too small. I don't want it to be too close to my neck or tight on my neck, and I don't also want it to have enough space. I just want it to sit normal. So after drawing that, I'm going to go ahead and join my shoulder slope together, and then we'll be ready to cut soon. After marking that, I also mark my measurements on the down part of the cloth so that I know where exactly I'm cutting. I don't want to use that part of the fabric that they write all those labelings. I don't need it for the sewing, so I'm cutting them out. So we are going to set that aside, fold our fabric into two again for the back piece. So after we folded our fabric into two for the back piece, you are just going to place the front piece on the back piece because that's what we are going to be using to cut the back piece. We are not doing fresh measurements, just arranging it and making sure everything is in place, and we are good. So after that, I'm drawing a line in on top, so that we'll be sure of where to start our neckline measurements for the back. And for the back piece, we are using just 1 inch for the neck depth, because we don't want it to be too open at the back also. So after drawing that, we'll just go ahead and cut. So we are done cutting, and we have our front piece and our back piece now. For these dressings, we are not putting a lining that would use to turn the upper part, I be the neckline, where I'm going to use my bias tape to turn the neckline for both the back piece and the front piece together. So I'm just arranging it to show you how we are going to join. So I'm done using the bias tape to turn the neckline. So what we are going to do now is to give it a good press. However, in this town there is no light, and I'm not ready to go start putting on my box iron at the moment. So if you are with light, or if there's light and you're regretting this, just make sure to give it a good press at this point, so that everything sits perfectly well. And I'm just arranging it now to show you how I'm going to join the next part. So I'm joining the sides next, and then the shoulder. So this is what it looks like after I've joined the sides and the shoulder together. I decided to add a zipper by the side also, so it will be easy for us to wear it. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and cut my sleeve. So for my sleeve, I folded my fabric into 4, because I want to cut both the two sleeves together. And I just arrange everything and make sure everything is set. I went ahead to determine how long I want it to be, and I'm marking 10.5 inches. The 10.5 inches include the half inch that I'm going to use to join the sleeve to my bodice, and the other 1 inch that I'm going to use to bend the hand of the clothes. So my upper arm is 14 inches divided by 2, which is what I've marked, and my lower arm is 10 inches divided by 2 is 5 inches. I've marked that and added my sewing allowance. I just went ahead to draw my armhole curve here. The armhole curve that is going to help us to attach the sleeve to the bodies of the cloth and make sure that it sits perfectly well. So after that, we're just going to go ahead and cut. So I finished cutting, and I'm just trimming the excess parts. I'm going to notch it now to know the midpoint when I'm joining it on my cloth, my body. So we are done at this point. I'm just cutting off the excess threads. The excess threads are just filling everywhere, and this is what our top looks like. Yes, so let me know what you think in the comment section. You can rate my work from 1 to 10, and make sure I'm going to give this a good praise before I wear it out, obviously. So let me know what you think. Do you like the video? You can like, share, and comment. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we are going to see each other in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.